Hello and welcome to Chapter 155 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing this evening?
Okay. We work has implemented a new thing where we're not allowed to watch shows on our phones anymore or our tablets, and we can't have over the ear headphones like these, which is all I ever wear. That's all I've worn for the last, I don't know, 5 years I've been there. So I have gone to bone conducting headphones, and man, they are weird. I gotta get
Uh,
used to them.
I'm not gonna lie. The first thing when you said bone collecting, I thought that was like
Bone conducting, not
bone conducting. I thought it was a cool like task in one of the jobs that you got. That's what. The first,
no. They what they do, they sit. See if I can show you here, like right here
yeah,
on your head, and it's supposed to be like vibrations, and you hear the sound. It is cool, but I need to get used to it because this entire time I've been home, I've had like a phantom feel the entire time.
yeah,
So it's I don't know. It's gonna
yeah.
be a
No,
while.
it's just frustrating when they change stuff like that. When you're
Working, I mean,
used
it's
to.
it all it is to be, oh well, we didn't get this special award, and it's all because people were on their phones, walking and talking, and not paying attention. Like, screw you. Like, honestly, I pay more attention when I'm sitting there watching something, and because my job is so repetitive, if I'm watching something and I go to put my job in and it's not going in right, I look down. Oh, I'm missing a piece. I find more stuff missing when I'm not paying attention to what I'm supposed to do. I know I shouldn't be saying that, but it's just I don't know. Work is
It,
work. How are you doing, Travis? Screw my job. How are you
I'm
doing?
not. I'm not doing that bad, to be honest with you. We had a crazy amount of snow here the past weekend. Over
Yeah.
21 inches of snow, so a lot of shoveling took place. Unfortunately, the other person that resides in the house with me is pregnant and can't really help out when it comes to shoveling.
Snowblowers are
So
fun.
yeah, that would be a nice thing to have at the moment. Currently do not though, Joe.
Ah,
So yeah, a lot of shoveling, and a lot of shoveling. So yeah, I hated the snow. Took my dog for a walk on Saturday and was trying to reach down to pick something up as he bolted,
ooh,
tugged me. He is huge. He's like 90 pounds, and I fell face first into the
I
snow.
love it.
And then he came over thinking I was playing and jumped in and kind of nudged me and flicked the snow all up in my face and eyes, and then basically
Oh,
tried to drag me as I was on the ground. So that was fun. But besides
oh,
besides that, everything is good. But in the swing of things with school, just waiting for everything to be over.
fun,
Excited for Ant Man in a couple weeks. I got my early tickets for that, so that was a
nice.
good thing.
It falls on. It's coming out the 16th, which is my dad's birthday,
Hmm.
and then the 17th, that Friday, I've got Emily, my girlfriend, and I. We've got a dinner date with friends, so I won't be able. Earliest I can probably see it will be that Saturday, which sucks, but
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. Just dodge the bullets of
I think the last
spoilers
time that
and
happened to me was Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't think I saw that opening night. No.
oh, you definitely didn't dodge any bullets there, as I only caught up on that a few weeks ago, or well,
Oh yeah,
a
no.
month ago maybe. That was
Yeah,
bad.
when it came out. Yeah,
Whenever I filled in for Brent on Marvel Alliance, I caught up on the few Marvel
yeah,
things
that
that I
was
had
like a month ago.
before.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's when I watched it. Oh, ooh, ooh, what? Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. Let's get into some positive DC things. But before we do that, obviously, I have to do network plugs. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 8 shows in total. On Mondays is Ranger Alliance, and that rotates bi-weekly with Slice of Film. On Tuesdays is DC Alliance. On Wednesdays is a walk through the multiverse with Joe for the next 8 weeks. Joe will be covering The Last of Us, so stick with him as he covers the hit HBO Max show. I was on
it's
the
so
first
good, guys.
episode. I'm pretty darn certain I'm going to be on the second episode. That will be tomorrow. We'll be recording that. So much fun. I haven't played the game, so I have no idea what to expect. People, so it's basically like the Game of Thrones thing Joe said last week with coming completely no idea, while the people with the books are like,
Yep.
"Ooh, this is the same thing here right now." So it's fun time. Stick with Joe on Wednesdays for the next 8 weeks as he covers The Last of Us. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays, for the next 8 weeks is the Animation Nation. It will be going back to Wednesday after that. On Sundays, monthly is World's Finest True Believers. DC Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Alliance goes live Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also have their own podcast feeds. Search Marvel Alliance, DC Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance if you want Marvel content, DC content, or Star Wars content only. But if you want all 8 shows on the GUA Podcast Network, stay subscribed to the GUA on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, $1 tier and a $5 tier. $1 tier is basically a tip jar. You like what we're doing and you want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras, ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Myself and Joe put up Supergirl a couple weeks ago. We have in the can, being edited as we speak, Superman 4. Ooh,
Woo!
ooh, what a dumpster fire of a film. I'm not
Uh-huh.
spoiling anything there. Go on any ratings and see. But my suggestion, patrons, is and if you're not a patron, you should become a patron and listen to that recording. So you guys don't
I mean,
have to
look,
watch Superman 4. We did it. We did it for you. And
you don't have to watch it anyway. You don't have to
so
listen to our recording. Don't listen. Hold on. You don't have to
you're
join the
not doing
Patreon
a great.
just to
You're
listen
not
to our
doing.
recording of
You're not
how
doing a great
bad the
job of
movie was.
selling it. You're not doing a great job of selling right here, Joe. I'm trying to do my inner car
Look,
salesman, and you're cutting me off at
we've
the
got
knees.
no. Hold on. We've got great movies coming up. Don't ask them to join for a shitty movie,
Well, they
okay?
don't have to suffer through it. They just get to listen to our pain.
Or they
I
just don't
thought
watch it. Like,
that's part of the. I know in the sports world, people like to see fans devastated and
yeah,
losing,
yeah,
not their
yeah.
victorious moments. They want to see their pain moments. Like they don't want to see us be like, "Ooh, Batman '89, awesome." They don't. They want to see us be like, "Catwoman, pain," and I'm still dreading Catwoman when we get to that moment.
Uh, you
But
don't have to watch it twice, sir.
yeah, that's true. That's even that's
I don't. I mean, I don't have to. I'm choosing to. That's the problem.
choosing to. But patrons, stick with us as we go through all the DC films through the years. Superman 4 will hit in the next 8, 9, 10 days, maybe. Like maybe at the start of March, end of January, somewhere around there. So check that out as uh, we go through the rest of the DC films through the year. Stick with us. We also have Brett and Chris going through the Marvel MCU movies. Stick with them. Even the one shots as well. They're covering everything. We have Clay doing watches for the
They're
first
covering everything.
time. Right now, he's on Game of Thrones. We have Katie doing Star Wars comics with her husband Matt, and we have Joel's Multiverse Minutes, which there is a scheduled recording that was worked out
Yeah,
pre-show. Uh,
it's that's one we're holding for a minute.
yeah.
It's gonna be with you. You're joining me for that, but I am gonna try and get some other uh multiverse minutes up within this month and next month. I did see that South Park's coming back, so maybe I'll jump onto that in February. But
I
we'll
finally watched the COVID special. Finally. Oh
see.
my god, was it ever good?
Man,
Oh,
so
oh wow. Like I like, I honestly makes me want to go back and catch up to a couple seasons that I fell
well,
off.
and
I like I know
and
they're all great, but
I covered I think seasons 24, 25, and 20 no 26 come back. So like 23 and 24, which 23 was 23 and 24 were just like the movies, the
yeah.
specials, and then season 25 was only like 6 episodes. So it's not hard to catch up.
Good.
Uh,
I think I'm gonna have to play catch up at that too. But yeah, we thank everyone that's a patron. If you're not a patron, if you can take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice, that's always greatly appreciated. It helps other people find the shows, and that's always a good thing. Okay, Joe. A little light on the DC news this week. Managed to find some things. We got a nice little trailer that dropped today
yeah,
for the Harley Quinn Valentine's Day special. But before we get into that, we have a meeting that took place between Jason Momoa and Peter Safran, James Gunn, and David Zaslav, aka DC Studios plus David Zaslav. There is the initial video that he posts when he's leaving WB with security, just basically saying like this is awesome and giving out love to Peter Safran, James Gunn, and David Zaslav.
yeah.
And the other part of that was he spoke with Variety at Sundance. I think it was Sundance.
That
Uh,
sounds about right.
yeah, and essentially said because there's a lot of worry that he's not going to be Aquaman, and this throws a wrench into everything, Joe. Like I don't know what is going on with DCU, if I'm being honest with you, because
I mean,
Jason
according to
Momoa,
all the scoopers, we're gonna find out this week or
Jason
next.
Momoa says I'll always be Aquaman. Uh, though the rumors ain't no one coming in there and taking shit. There might be some other characters too. I can play other things too, and I think that basically screams to us like he's gonna play Lobo.
I mean, I can't think of any other character he could play. Lobo fits.
He's already dropped the hints that he loves the character and read the
Sure.
entire run on other interviews, and he said just
But
recently,
you
like,
know,
you know,
remember when The Rock said he loved being John Stewart and beating up Superman?
yeah, Rock
And
didn't
then
have a
he's
billion
like,
dollar.
"Hey, I'm gonna be Black Adam now."
Ro-
Yeah.
Rock
Anyway,
didn't have $1 billion comic book film behind him already, as
true.
like and
True.
essentially this basically must make David Zaslav giddy because you keep the star of a $1 billion comic book movie as
And we
that
don't know what.
role,
Yeah, we don't
but
know
you
what the next one's gonna
also
get.
give him another role, getting him in another movie, maybe making more money off that actor. So, like, this seems like money, which
I mean,
is
I don't know if I know you have it in the notes here. Like, is he is he staying on as Aquaman? You know, is he gonna be Lobo? Is what's gonna happen with him? Like, is he gonna come back for Crisis? I, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty certain that he's done as Aquaman. Um,
check
that's a
out
big
check out Marvel Alliance for that Allen game. But I think I agree.
agreed. I think it
I
will.
think I agree with you.
Um,
Think the villain is going to shoot that so far up on the box office charts. Get out of here.
we'll see. But no, I don't know. Like, it's totally possible, and I just realized I keep saying like, and I need to stop doing that. But it's totally possible that he could be a new character. You know, he could come in there and start off new. And Lobo, as I think the general audience only knows Lobo from from Jason saying, "Hey, I could be Lobo," or the
Oh
rumors about
yeah,
it. Like, Lobo is not one of those characters that is well known.
he's
We
not even
know
well
him
known
as
in the
comic
geek
book fans.
community. He's not
He's
even that well known in the geek community. Superman the animated series and some
that, you
like
know, some of the
DCAU
movies.
continuity, and the Man
Um,
of Tomorrow, or is it Man
yeah,
of Tomorrow?
Man of
Yeah, Man
Tomorrow.
of Tomorrow, which is what I can totally see.
Like, if they're
So
pulling it from this, yes. If they're pulling from Man of Tomorrow style,
yeah,
I like that. That one
I
would
could totally see Lobo in there as a third party, probably trying to hunt down uh,
and
either
that's
Clark
you know what?
or
And that's a perfect character. He doesn't have to be in. He doesn't have to have his own movie. He can come in, do a 5 minute role here in this movie, do a 10 minute role in this movie. He's just doing his bounty hunter thing, searching for all these characters. Fine, and then eventually, once you seed him in enough, then he gets his own movie down the line. I don't know what's going on. I
I this gets me so confused because I thought we were getting full on reboot. If I'm being honest with you, I thought after
right.
this film we were getting full on reboot. You told Henry Cavill to get out the door,
Well,
but
and we've got rumors coming up with Shazam that we're going to talk about later, and I just the whole Henry Cavill. Obviously, that wording is the wording the internet is saying, similar to what Daily Planet said in Superman 4 of how Superman told the kid to drop dead. It's just all headlines to attract people.
yeah,
Um, we they had a talk. It didn't. Cavill's Superman didn't fit with the current DCU going forward, but it's not to say he won't ever come back.
but
I
I
can guarantee you, in if they ever do a Crisis movie, they're gonna get everybody back that they can.
100% just seeing the success of how Marvel did it. Uh,
Exactly.
Hello, Derpy. Uh, we honestly, if I was think about this, Joe, they're going to do some sort of event where you're bringing because of the success of No Way Home, Avengers Endgame. Like you're going to get one of those things where you're trying to bring everyone together, like from past into present like that, and maybe what we get in Secret Wars. I feel like that would be foolish to throw away money not to. I just find it hard, like how Aquaman and Wonder Woman currently will still fit going forward into the story, but
Will they?
how Superman
Like,
has to be young. I'm just saying if he stays on as Aquaman and there's no changes to the character, it's going to be a little confusing. So, do minor things change after the Flash film? I have so many questions. Like, I don't know. It seems like we're getting some parts are staying, some parts are going from DCU, but I feel like he's going to stay as Aquaman. Like, he wouldn't say ain't nobody coming in take this shit after meeting with him. He's not that
well,
stupid. Like,
no, it's no different than the people complaining that they ruined Star Wars.
yeah.
Oh, it's not the original. They ruined Luke Skywalker. No, you can still have the wimpy Luke Skywalker from the original trilogy, and because he totally is a wimp. Anyway,
Third one is
like,
not so much wimp. I don't think so.
anyway,
I'm not a big
I've
Star
got
Wars
the
buff.
whole. Okay,
I'm not a big.
yeah, I do.
I'm,
I'm a big
I'm
Star
not
Wars.
a. I'm not a big Star Wars buff.
But what I'm saying, people keep on saying, "Oh, they ruined this character." No, they didn't ruin it. It's just not what you wanted. You still have the characters and the movies and the products that you liked over here. It's just that they're acknowledging this, but they're keep going forward with new stuff. He is going to be Aquaman in the movies until the end of time. It's no different than Reeves being Superman, and
No,
then
I don't
Ralph
think
being
that's not how
Superman,
he made
and
that because
then
he's. I don't think that's what he meant, Joe. Because the way he said that, he said, "Ain't no one." I listened to it too. And, like, he's like, "Ain't no one
well,
coming in here and taking shit," saying like because that's all the rumors out there that we're having complete reboot, and he's like everyone's going to be recast. It's the Cavill news. That's what people are thinking, and he's not saying like people are going to remember me as Aquaman forever. He's saying like no one's coming in and taking my role. That's what he just said in the response there.
I don't know.
I don't think I don't think he would be foolish enough to put that kind of statement out there after meeting with DC Studios and thinking there's a chance that he will be replaced as Aquaman. I don't think you put out that statement to Variety when you're like during an interview a few days after. Like we know he's already met with DC Studios before he gave that answer that was asked because she actually asked him what was said during the DC
Yeah,
meeting with you. And he said, "Ain't nobody coming in to take my shit. Like nobody's coming in." He said, "I know the rumors out there, and ain't nobody coming in to take my shit." So I don't think he would say that without meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran. I just think that the Lobo thing is just the extra cherry on top for him to basically give him more creative. Like you don't have to just be Aquaman in this universe. You
but
can
they
be
don't
both.
have to. If they bench Aquaman, no one's taking it from him.
You don't
He's
really need
still
to bench him
Aquaman.
though. You can just have
No,
him
no,
have his
not
own
bench.
self-contained adventure, especially if he has another big hit. Like let's say this Aquaman makes 800 million, we'll say, instead of a billion, but makes 800 million. They're not going to keep him on the shelf. They may give him his own self-contained story that doesn't anywhere interact with any characters that Lobo may interact with for a while, so that you can keep them separate and don't make people like even try to
But
side
then
them
we
up
have,
and see
but
if they
then we
look at
run
each
into the
other.
problem of if they are self-containing Aquaman and by extension Wonder Woman, those two are over here in their own little bubble, and then DCEU's here, Joker's here, Batman's here. Like we're starting to build more worlds, which I am not against. I'm totally for that. I want the most we can have, but when you have the general audience who are like, "Oh, cool, well, Aquaman's here. How is he connected to the Justice League now?" And then he's nowhere near the Justice League because the Justice League is all new people.
Well, no, I don't think that at all. I think that he would be included. Both of them would be in Justice League movies. I think that's a little ways down the line. I think that you. I'm just saying, like
I don't know.
while you're building out the DCU, you can also tell another Aquaman story with characters involving him that had nothing to do with anything else.
So
Not saying
it's its own
that
thing.
no, but it still exists in the DCU that James Gunn is making. It's just not like I'm saying if you're taking him going forward as Aquaman, that's all. If you're
Yeah,
recasting,
yeah.
it's a completely different thing. But if you're taking him
But
going forward, you could just tell an Aquaman story and then same thing with Wonder Woman. You can just tell a Wonder Woman 3 story about Wonder Woman. And then when Justice League comes up, you can still bring those two characters in if they're still alive. I'm not saying like tell like put them on like the same thing as the Batverse. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like you can tell
Okay.
a story that isn't greater DCU implications
Okay.
for him and Wonder Woman, and then bring them in for the Justice League. Because what you're saying makes sense. Like you can't have offshoot worlds of these and then like not have them in the Justice League. It would make no
And
sense.
that's essentially what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. You can't. I don't think you can have them do their own story, and then here is the overall Justice League movie that brings everybody in, and not have those two
Oh,
because
they have to be.
they're
They
over
have to
here
be
now.
integral, though. They have to be integral if they're
That's
existing.
exactly like if they recast them, I'm fine.
Oh, same
And then
here.
you
I'm
can
not
have
saying.
Aquaman and Wonder Woman over here doing their own things, and
Mhm.
Justice League, DCU doing their own thing. I don't know.
That seems like a bit too much to me. If you had like another Aquaman and Wonder Woman,
It's
and
gonna start getting headachy
yeah.
when you start actually breaking it down.
And World's Biggest Geek asks us, and thank you for joining the chat tonight, World's Biggest Geek. What do you think about Wonder Woman 3 being delayed? Nah, there's a lot more Wonder Woman villains I would like to see in the movie. Agreed. And I thought they set her up great at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, where she's staring off with the arrow, wondering, because she has no idea ever from the time that she left in Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, she has no idea how her mother and the rest of the Amazons are doing.
Yep.
Besides what Steppenwolf told her, that he basically wiped them all out. She has no way to get back there or know how to get back there. There's such a great story you can tell there, and you can involve Cersei in that as well.
You can have a reanimated corpse of Steve Trevor.
No,
Again.
no more of that stuff. That was the way they were going. What was rumored, that was absolute nonsense. But
I
like,
love
there's
it.
a lot of story left on the bone for Wonder Woman. I really hope they get a chance to tell more. Like, I'd like to see Gal again, but I wouldn't hate a full-on DCU reboot. But it doesn't seem, the more and more, it doesn't seem like that. It seems like Gunn is going to pick and choose and possibly have the Flash be what, like when he comes back from his multiverse mission, there's going to be another. Like, there's different things about that Earth, or he's going to be on a different Earth.
And again, like whenever we get that announcement, allegedly by the end of the month, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hey,
all the
allegedly by the
game,
end of the month.
all the game. The sad thing, 2 days ago, like most of the rumor scooper sites put out literally put out an article. James Gunn will be making his announcement in 10 days, and I'm just like,
He
no
said
shit. He said January. No shit.
he said January. That's all
Yeah,
he said. He
I'm
said
just
that in
like,
December.
ooh, what a scoop! That's a further
Well, news
illustration
mesh.
of how all they want is clicks and views. They have no like actual journalistic integrity at all, because anyone would be like, let's just wait. He's going to put them out. Like, we could
You
even put out an
wanna
article speculating, but
you know
yeah.
what we should have titled this episode?
Wow.
James Gunn to kid. Drop dead, kid.
Goddamn, Super Red 4. That was such a terrible thing, but it did give me an idea, Joe. We have to take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back.
Just
Okay.
so everybody's aware, we are not changing our backgrounds because apparently StreamYard is having some issues. We had an issue a few weeks back. Marvel Alliance had an issue last week. So we are you guys can
Being
see
safe.
Momoa's beautiful face the entire time.
Yeah, we're not going to change banners for every story for our live listeners just because we don't want.
We don't want to lose the recording again.
Yeah, so we're going to just err on the side of caution because we feel like that's what prompted the crash both times.
Until we hear back from, I think Snell wrote to StreamYard to figure something out. Until we hear back from that saying everything's good, we're just gonna stick with one from now on.
Do you think he announced on the game asked? Do you think he announces anything past 2025 or just sticks to the next 2 years? I feel like we're only going to get a couple announcements. We're going to get 2 films and a show, 2 films and 2 shows max.
So
because I feel like the shows
for 2 years for 24 and 25.
I feel like the 25. Ooh,
that's what I'm saying. We already got 2023 slated.
Yes,
we're getting 4 movies this year.
Yep.
So
and we have
possibly
Joker 2 for 2024. That's the only one slated to release in 2024.
Okay, yeah. So we don't need to be talking about that one. He shouldn't talk about that one. He's not connected to that one anyway.
No.
So yeah, I could see 3 movies and at least 2 TV shows, if not even 4 movies.
I can see him announcing a film past 2025 just to indicate like this is our long term plans a little bit, but I don't see
One
it
or
going
two,
further than
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I can see it.
Uh,
Okay, I like that.
Hello, Drew.
Up, Drew?
We're just talking DC. Uh, and on the game, I do think there's going to be a couple shows announced as well with the movies that Joe was talking about there. Uh,
Yeah,
I,
I'm gonna predict 3 to 4 movies for 24 and 25, and at least 2 shows.
yeah, and I don't think they're going to go further than that. They're not going to pull the mistakes of the past where you pull a big giant timeline that people can bring up later about like not happening.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
that's
they've already done that
that
too many times.
that's pretty much agreed upon, Drew. We got to that point that he's going to be remembered as Aquaman for a very long time. But I don't
And
think anywhere's.
then maybe he'll be remembered as Lobo for a very long time. We'll see.
I also want to say I think Lobo is a great way to bring in the whole war world and everything like that, because you could have him rounding
Oh
up
man,
people. Uh,
but Warworld's basically just Superman, though.
I
You know,
I know, but that could be your way, like to bring in just more characters to expand the DCU. You could even put a Green
true.
Lantern in there, and that could be a way to put off into the Green Lantern show or Green Lantern
I mean,
film.
if they weren't scared, they'd already have a Green Lantern by now.
I don't think James Gunn. I think James Gunn is going to actually give us. He's pretty good with space cosmic characters.
Yeah. What? Why would you say that? Like he's had 2 successful movies and a successful TV show
And it's
special.
definitely going to be a successful third.
Yeah, well,
Coming
we don't
up.
know yet. It's not
I
out yet.
trust Travis on that one. So Joe, we have some. Let's round up the news, and we got a new thing that came out today. We got some
Speaking
news
of
today, Joe.
space.
We
You
got
talking about? Yeah, sorry.
we got some news today. Like finally, we got an update. We got a trailer, not the trailers or anything that I think we were hoping for,
It's the
either in
one we needed.
Shazam or the Flash, but we got something. You're right, the one we needed. So I will share my screen, and we will go over. I will mute it, obviously.
Yeah,
Uh,
monetized. Maybe you can share your screen. JK, LOL.
oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. That might. Let's hope it doesn't bring everything around. But
I mean, it didn't for. Oh no,
okay,
that I listened. Okay.
so we have a Valentine's special for Harley Quinn coming out February 9th. Definitely going to be reviewed on the Animation Nation.
I may have to join you for that one.
Well, you're definitely there for all the Harley Quinn stuff so far. Yeah, so we open up with I really like that. Just seeing some romantic.
I mean,
Uh,
Flash and Zatanna were weird.
is
Didn't think that
this?
one would happen.
I gotta ask you: is this a character in comics, or just for this? Like, does King Shark have a Queen Shark, or
I think that's comics, or I think
okay,
that's show only. I mean, sorry.
okay, never seen that before. I love that. the
The bat, yeah,
all the
chocolates,
bat symbols. That's amazing. Left by Catwoman and keeping in continuity. Bruce is in jail. We see Kite Man with his new girlfriend
golden glider.
and
Yep.
Harley and Ivy. Basically, and Etrigan. Oh my God! First
Yes,
appearance.
that's your
First
good.
appearance. First appearance. Look at you got a name tag too, Joe.
I love it.
We have not seen him before, right? I'm not wrong on that.
Uh,
I don't
I
think we've
don't
seen
think
him before.
so. Not in this universe. No, I don't think so.
And I guess he's considered a villain at the bar here with Bane. And he asked Bane if he wants to have a bigger penis. And Bane's like, that's not what I
Yes,
went to you for.
yeah, he stopped for a second. He's like, "Well, hey, hang on, maybe."
Oh, man. And I love Bane. You listeners, you know how much we love Bane here.
He's the best character of the show, hands down.
And yeah, so I'm not sure what uh, Darkseid is in love. I got to pause for a second. I looked across the room, and so yeah, this is full on. Essentially, Joe, I saw a bit tweet about this is what Velma wishes it was.
I still haven't watched Velma, although I did see somebody's either TikTok or Instagram story saying it's better than what people gave it credit for. I don't know.
And Harley has Ivy has a big O and causes the city to go crazy, and that's essentially, I assume, what
Sure.
the
So they won't let Batman go down on Catwoman because that's what heroes don't do that,
no.
even though they totally do.
We'll be much
But they have
hero
a
if they didn't,
whole
Joe.
they have a
We'll
whole
be much a hero if
special
they didn't.
but they have a whole special about Harley going down on Poison Ivy and her getting off so hard that she releases pheromones that basically make everybody in town like sexual deviants.
Yeah, essentially, that's the
Sure.
the premise
Good
of it.
job, DC.
I love how she's like, "You can't get mad at me for just, like, getting you off too good," and she's
Yeah.
like, "Shit, you got a point."
This is gonna be so much fun. I love
Yes, February 9th, so excited that was a nice little treat that we got, today. I wasn't expecting that, it came out of nowhere this morning, so really excited, just a couple weeks, and
yeah.
we'll have a new, uh, animated movie. Well, film is an event, it's
I mean, it's a special. We don't know how
special.
long the special is gonna be.
That's true.
My guess would be probably 50 minutes to an hour.
50, 60 minutes,
Um,
yeah.
so and if this is something that they want to do all the time, great. We talked about that. I think last week, the week before, when you brought up the fact that they're having this special coming out, that this is something that Harley has been doing in the comics recently, alongside with her ongoing, where she'll have like a Halloween special and a Valentine special and a Christmas special and a holiday special or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I'm all for this. If they want to do this in between seasons, great, do it. It works.
Also, if something is like this, like they're putting out another season and then we're getting a special, this is something that James Gunn clearly like thumbs up considering he was on the show. So I think if you like
One
this,
episode. He was on there for one episode.
he wrote saying like I'm a fan of the show before I even like came on. So
That's fair.
just good. If you like Harley Quinn's animated stuff, I think it's going to be around for a while.
So, World's Biggest Geek. Note for the Green Lanterns: which version would you use? Alan, Hal, John, Guy, Kyle, Jessica. You're also forgetting. Oh crap! What's his name? You answer. I'm gonna look up real quick.
Honestly, World's Biggest Geek, I think I would go with Hal and John. I also would try to tell a history lesson story type thing in the film, like showing the first Green Lantern, Alan Scott, but maybe have the Guardians just
Simon
fill
Bad.
in that. But I think you should start with Hal and maybe even have him be a year in, and then have John be the next recruit and see the Green Lantern Corps through John's eyes with Hal as his guide.
So I love Jessica Drew. Or no, Jessica.
Cruz.
I love Jessica. She's awesome. Kyle is amazing. Alan is amazing. But when you think of Green Lantern, you think of Hal and John. So I would be on board for like a buddy cop with those two. Honestly, I came in, my first introduction to Green Lantern was Hal, and then I would watch the Justice League animated series, and there was John, and then I eventually figured out, oh, there's multiple Green Lanterns. So combo of those two, I don't know. Buddy cop with those two. That's what I want.
That got my vote as well, Joe. John is my first Green Lantern. He was the first one that I saw, and actually, that is not true. Kyle is the first one I saw in animation in Superman the Animated Series.
Okay.
And then it was John, but I really took to the John character. I did love how Kyle could draw as an artist, and he was failed DC Marvel. Like it wasn't like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But no, like John, I just loved he just moral compass, and I really enjoyed him in the animated show. It really got me like trying to dig deeper into Green Lantern. So that would be my vote. And I do like your buddy cop idea of them going around the galaxies.
Only because I don't like. I want them to both have the justice. I want them to have the justice that they need. But we already had the attempt with Hal, and everybody knows John from the animated series, the Justice League animated series, and we thought we were going to get something similar with John in Arrow, but that never happened. I know. Sorry, I don't mean to bring it up, but it's there.
Last season of Flash was a giant. Brent, shout out to Brent and his tweet where he caught up on the Flash. Season 8 of Flash is a giant middle finger to Green Lantern fans, and more importantly, Green Lantern Arrow fans.
So, but you need to have those two before you can get Guy, before you can get Kyle, especially before you can get Kyle. And in the comics, Simon and Jessica there was a whole run where they were the buddy cops. You know, when Hal came back and actually was a Green Lantern again, he's like, "Well, you guys get to share a lantern and go do this." That was an amazing series. I really like that series. So you could definitely take that concept, move it over to Hal and John, and have them be a buddy cop in a movie, in a series, TV show. I don't know.
Series would be so good, Joe, because you could have them like accidentally, like first have it so carefree and casual, like they're loving their job. Have them stumble into a sort of conspiracy secret thing where you find out in the end that Sinestro is not the glorious top Green Lantern; he's evil.
Yeah,
That would be maybe
that
because
works.
you could have Hal as a year in the service, and then John come in, and that like he's with Hal, and they're going to go off on their first couple missions, and that's they could stumble into it. I would really love to see something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm down.
Okay, so we have some other news now to talk about. James Gunn responded to a person on Twitter who basically played with them not to use Guardians of the Galaxy casts for DCU. He wanted unknown people, which I'm not against unknown people as well. But James Gunn responded with, "We have hundreds of roles to cast, as I've always done. Some will be brand new faces, some will be actors I've worked with before, and some will be actors who I've never worked with. What matters most is the actor fits the role and they're easy to work with."
So we're gonna have the Scooby Doo crew in DC universe because he worked with them.
Chris Pratt, Superman confirmed.
No.
I saw crazy people going around with that yesterday.
What I'm saying, we're gonna have Freddie Prinze Jr. as
Batman.
Batman. Sure, why not? We'll have Matthew Lillard as Superman. You'll have Sarah Michelle Gellar as Wonder Woman. You'll have Linda Cardellini. Is that how you're saying it? I don't know, but I know she's over on Hawkeye right now. But you can have her as Black Canary. I don't know, and then you can have Scooby Doo as
Scooby Doo.
Batmite. I don't.
Scooby Doo. They crossed over with DC.
Maybe he's crossed over with Batman a few different times. Sure, but no, like I know everybody's jumping the gun and saying it's going to be. I know the Guardians cast. Look, Batista as Bane all day long. Chris Pratt, I like him as an actor. I don't think he's a great person, but I like him as an actor. And then you got Zoe Saldana. Yes, please. Like she is amazing. Karen Gillan, also amazing. So bring them all over. I don't care. They're great actors and actresses. Bring them to DCU.
I'm not going to look at them and just immediately think like Star-Lord. No, you especially like he said, as long as they fit the role. I don't think you're going to get like a Chris Pratt Batman or anything like that.
Honestly, I think Chris Pratt would be a good Booster Gold.
Exactly. That's first character that came to my mind. Guy Gardner is another one for me. Like I think he could turn on.
Well, see, Guy's a dick.
Yeah, I think he could turn that on.
He could, but because majority of his roles, I guess, outside of his role in the Jurassic World movies, because I've only seen the first one, he's got some comedy elements, but he still is basically major on point. He's a comedic actor. He's a comedic role. Him being Guy Gardner, I don't think would work as well.
Yeah, more so they're laughing at you, not with you, with Guy Gardner. Like they're more laughing at how ridiculous you are than they are like thinking. Sean Gunn is James Gunn's brother.
Yes,
obviously.
I'm trying to think because I mean he was a joke as Calendar Man. That was the whole thing. Him as Weasel, he was just there. I mean, he also does the body.
Honestly, I wouldn't say super villain. I wouldn't say super villain. I'd just say villain. I think he would be a perfect Condiment King.
Yeah.
You could have the ridiculousness of Condiment King.
Could, yeah.
Especially in a Peacemaker, especially in a Peacemaker series. Like,
well, and
my God, have you not had Condiment King in there yet?
Well, we still got season 2. He definitely is a good background villain.
Yes.
Like if you think about it, we had Zaz in Batman Begins. He was in there for a couple scenes. Didn't make any real impact on the
Mhm.
movie, except for fans who know about the character. There he
Yeah.
was. Like we could have Sean Gunn be something like that, where he is playing a character that pops up a couple different times throughout the movie, and we as fans know who he is, but he's not important to the plot.
No, you could have him show up in a movie and then get arrested or not even see him anymore, and then we see him in another Suicide Squad film in jail. Like you could do stuff like that just to expand the DCU and make it connect a bit more. I would love to see him as Conman King, though. That's kind of
Okay.
what I would love to see him as. And I really do enjoy Gunn responding and talking some of this stuff. What I didn't enjoy, Joe, was Diane Guerrero's post that she shared on Instagram that she
Yeah.
quickly removed, which showed her looking back a 16-second clip, and she shared it and said, "Goodbye, my beloved." Essentially, I thought doing the same thing that Starfire did from Titans. The character, the actress Anna Dopp that plays Starfire, did the same thing,
Did she?
kind of in a interview or a promotion for the thing. She said the final,
Okay.
and yeah. So
I
I
mean,
think
we
this is
were
Doom
already thinking
Patrol.
this.
Yeah,
We were thinking this was going to be the last season anyway, especially since currently 3 out of the 4 that have immortality no longer have their immortality. Not to say that they can't get it back, but I'm sure if they try to get it back, it's going to be more painful. So
they
why
might
not
just
just
yeah.
and 4 seasons, man? Like that's a good run,
Oh, it is a
a
good run. I
really good
still
run.
think the first season might be the best with Mr. Nobody and how outrageous it was just at the top. We were not expecting it.
It
I've
set
kinda
the
gotten
bar for
used
the
to
show.
it. Yeah, I've kinda gotten used to it a little bit more now, the
Yeah,
ridiculousness. But I would be sad to see this show go, but like I said, I don't think these shows, Titans and Doom Patrol, I don't think they're lying for this Earth, Joe. I feel like
four
their time is
seasons. Like
coming up.
they've done a good job. Titans was okay.
Well,
Like
but there's
they're
spots.
entertaining. They've been
Yeah.
entertaining.
Even if Titan sticks the landing, I'm still not gonna give a series recommendation.
No, like
Just
they've
spot
already they've
recommendations.
already lost that
Yeah, like
after
the
season 2.
couldn't they up season 2, you might have had a thumbs up recommendation, but no. Okay. So, Joe, that was a little sad news. David Ayer was on Twitter going back and forth with somebody as well. This was a fun weekend for people
Ugh,
on Twitter.
yeah.
Obviously, such a nice person to comment and tag David Ayer and say, "I'm sorry, anything that wasn't included in the theatrical version is an afterthought, and it's called a director's cut. When they add scenes to a movie, it wasn't because it was too dark and scary for toddlers." Like, kind of outrageous there. And then
Okay.
David Ayer's like as nice as possible because I would have told the guy I would have just shared the Gordon Ramsay gif. Oh fuck off, honestly. But he said normally you're absolutely right. This is an extraordinary case of a movie being utterly re-engineered in post. It's not a couple cut scenes being added. The nature of the film was fundamentally changed. I'm looking you in the eye and telling you this. My cut is vastly better, which is probably the most steadfast statement he's made so far. Just in terms of one comparing one to the other, like
I mean, he's been saying something similar for a while.
he says different a lot, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard him say like my version is better.
Yeah, I mean, look, I
I believe him after Zack Snyder's
last
Justice League.
last year, the year before, I went back and I watched the original trailer, and the vibe I got from that trailer and the vibe I got from the theatrical movie are 2 completely different vibes, knowing full well that the trailers are made by a different company, an outside company normally, and it's just
I'm trying to remember the
they're given
song.
the stuff they're given. Um,
That the Jailhouse Rock, I think they had
maybe something like that?
in the pop trailer that I think is what caused them to re-edit everything. Like that trailer popped off, and I really think they used that same company to because that was the one I can remember that I think it was a SDCC or it was a I'm not sure when,
Yeah, I
but
think it was SDCC.
it was a big trailer, like, everyone
Yeah,
loved it
like,
because it was
it
so
was
action-packed and everything was mile a minute, and opened with I think it I don't even think because I think Ayers opened with Amanda Waller saying like they had like a 15 to 30-second conversation with those people for her to get that like Black Ops running, and I don't think we got that in the trailer, like the pop rock trailer, we'll call it.
I don't remember.
It's been a while. It's
It has
2016.
been a
Like
minute.
we've a lot of shit canceled since then. But I hope one day. I hope one day he gets his film to see
I
the
mean,
light of
and
day.
you
Just
know,
because of what Zack Snyder's Justice League was completely
correct.
vastly different. I believe that he's exactly saying the same thing here.
Now the poster isn't wrong in saying that the theatrical cut is what came out. Anything after that is director's cut. Yes, he is correct. However, those are usually better. Usually.
Context too. Context
Usually.
matters. That's what like I say that with we're talking about just clicking on a tweet, like reading the whole article. It matters here to knowing the whole
Yep.
story of what's
Exactly.
changed and that whole 2016, 2017
Which I mean, and the
where
fact
they
that
came in.
there's been so much out already about how Air's been open about it. Like he had his whole movie got changed because of the reactions,
To
the
BVS.
initial reactions of BVS. Well, BVS and Man of Steel, like everything. Once WB stepped in, is like, no, we have to do it this way. Like his whole movie practically got scrapped, and he had
For
to.
nothing he did. He didn't
Yeah,
he probably got
exactly.
a worse deal than Snyder, if I'm being honest with you, because he didn't like yeah, but they put out a film that yeah. So I think he like
He-
they made all these changes and he had nothing to do with the reason why. Like they were
yeah,
already like they were making them because of somebody else. So I like I
because
said, I hope one day
fans
we get to
at
see it.
that point, fans were all in on Marvel, and Marvel was lighthearted at the time,
I
and
think it was
DC was
more
darker.
I think it was possibly just as much critics, if I'm being honest with you.
Well,
It
yeah,
feels
but
that way anyway.
what? None critics have never liked superhero movies though.
Uh,
Like
yeah,
up until recently, like
recently.
critics themselves have never enjoyed. They've never given superhero movies a good rating. And then when you have Man of Steel, which was probably the realest interpretation of Superman ever, and the critic score was like what 60 or 70,
Yeah,
like it was
60s,
low,
60s.
lower than it should have been.
Yeah. Might have been 50s, but I think it was 60s. Uh, yeah, so like I said, I hope we get to see this one day. It will be
I would love
very,
to.
very yeah.
I'll hold my breath.
Now back to bumming you out, Joe. Mark Hamill, probably like we talked about when we said when we did our little memorial for Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll ever be back, and this is pretty much stamping it.
and he shouldn't be.
He was interviewed by Empire magazine, and he said like they would call and say, "Do you want to do the Joker?" And my only question is Kevin Batman? So without Kevin Conroy there doesn't seem to be a Batman for me. Sad quote, but that was pretty much. Like I said, I gave up wanting the JLA, like the Justice League
Any
animated
Justice
stuff
League without Kevin, yeah,
with Kevin. So I
like
think that whole thing
and
goes to rest.
Mark is 100% correct here. Like his Joker is against Kevin's Batman. Kevin passed away. He doesn't need to be Joker anymore.
World's Biggest Geek, one character in Suicide Squad movie. I wish I had more screen time, but it's a shame that he was taken so fast. Slipknot.
Sir,
This first person I've ever heard say that. More power to you. I didn't
now
even
I
know
know
who the character.
Slipknot in the
I didn't
comics.
know the character before.
I know
seeing it.
Slipknot in the comics has some merit, not a lot, some, but they needed a throwaway character
Yeah, there's
to
one.
prove a point.
Go watch Batman Assault on Arkham. I'm not sure. Oh my god.
Oh, who was it?
Oh, KGB. Sorry. Yeah, that's who it was.
Which KGB's a fucking powerhouse. I don't know
Yeah,
why
and
that's the one they're gonna throw away. Like, what?
Amanda Waller just blew his head off.
Well, they blew off the head of like the whole team. That first game.
No troll on the game. I was genuinely like I've never heard someone say they wanted to see more Slipknot in that movie. I really enjoy the Suicide Squad movie, even though it's done by Trailer Studio. I actually don't hate that film.
But if you think about it, even if you go into Air's Justice League or Suicide Squad, it Slipknot would have showed up, tried to escape, and get his head blown. Like, I don't think that's a scene that wasn't going to be in both films. Like, you
And
needed that sacrificial lamb.
Gunn takes it to the extreme in his film, where you get like
That
8
whole
characters.
first team was just like,
Yeah.
right, bye.
lamb to the slaughter. So that was what Slipknot was to us listeners. But honestly, I would have loved to see him a bit of action from him. I would have liked to see him fight,
Something.
see what he was about
Let him use his
before we.
powers,
Yeah, let him use his powers a bit before we get rid of him. So yeah,
whatever power he
no
has.
trolling out of the game. I just was genuinely. Oh, he's asking if he's trolling. Oh man, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. I missed that. My bad, out of the game. Okay, my
Anyway,
trailer keeps going down there. It's kind of a little annoying. So put this in the gigantic rumor category. Probably not happening, but I've seen it come across on my Twitter, which was Amelia Harcourt and Dr. Savannah are both making appearances in Shazam Fury of the Gods. I translated the article, and I'm going to be honest with you, it makes very little sense what they're saying here. So I would say if you're seeing that going around, just ignore it. I just
grandfather.
wanted to get that out there because it was really flashy, had exclamation points. But when I dug in, I even translated the article just to make certain. And no,
What
it
you should
seems
have
like a
done, you
lot of
should
that.
have translated to English, then back to like Spanish, and then back to English, to then like French. I don't know.
It just Google Translator didn't help me that much. So yeah, this
That's fair.
just avoid that
Now,
rumor.
yeah,
I'll say
them
tonight. Take it with a
if
grain of
they're
salt.
in the movie, fine,
Yeah,
whatever. Like
take it with a grain of salt.
it connects all like the DCU, the current DCU, and that's fine. Is it needed? Probably not.
When I read that they were trying to make Harcourt into the next Nick Fury or DC's next Nick Fury, and I was just like,
Which
okay, yeah,
again,
this
that
is
makes no
absolute
sense.
nonsense.
Why would why would
Amanda Waller's there behind
right
her,
there
like,
exactly?
yeah.
Why would Hardcore be it and not Waller?
So, World's Biggest Geek says Kevin will always 100% be the greatest Batman in history. Playing the video games, the animated movies, he is always an icon to everyone. Especially seeing him in the crossover was the best.
Yeah,
Agreed,
yes,
World's Biggest Geek. That was
yes,
one of the
100%.
highlights for the Crisis on Infinite Earths for me was seeing him finally get his due. Yes, he was playing a bit unhinged Batman, we'll say so to speak, but getting to even play a Batman Bruce and being in the exoskeleton, I thought that was a great little send off and chef's kiss to him. So
Yeah,
yeah, we did a great little tribute, I thought, to him with Chris Ballard joined us. Is one of our earlier episodes. This a couple months back now.
yeah, because he passed away in November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we did it. We had that pop up right after he passed.
So we do. Big Screen Leaks posted a thing today saying like Shazam marketing is going to start to pick up. We got a new Shazam Fury to Gods banner that looks so cool. It's a giant dragon and Shazam standing up, like holding the thumbs up when it looks like he's going to do atomic breath out like Godzilla. And he's just there giving a thumbs up. I can't wait to see
That tracks.
the whole dragon fight scene because there's a
That's
point
gonna
where
be
he
cool.
throws the boss. He's like, I threw a boss at a dragon. I love my life. So I really am excited for Shazam too, Joe. And bring on the marketing and the trailer. I did read that we're going to get another trailer for Shazam sometime this week. So I don't know if that's 100%
This week? Okay,
confirmation this week. So look for that. Hopefully we'll get a talk with that on Monday. That would be exciting.
I'm down.
And we have a final thing. I wanted to ask you about this because sometimes you've read the comics for some of these animated films. And we got a new animated film from Warner's coming here, Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham.
This is one I haven't read.
Oh, son of a
I
gun!
know,
I was hoping.
which it sucks because it's an Elseworlds, and I love my Elseworlds. I actually think
You have it somewhere.
I might have it on the shelf.
We might have to read that at some point. I think I might have to dust that off myself and read it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, look, if we ever want to start covering comics like Marvel Alliance does, I've got no problem with that. But,
Same. I'm not against that as well.
That might be a future thing, considering we've got Smallville at the
Okay.
end and me covering Superman and Lois for right now, or a quick talks on it. We don't need to cover comics, but if we ever wanted to, we totally could.
We may cross that bridge at some point, Joe. Yeah, I really enjoyed this trailer. I covered it on Animation Nation at the start of this episode before I got into the X-Men the animated series. I didn't know a lot about some of this because I haven't read it. I'm going to plan on reading it before I watch the film. I thought there was a lot of cool scenes, and I really enjoyed Gotham by Gaslight, and this is in the same world. There's one
I still
really
haven't
cool
watched that one
scene.
yet.
Oh, that's a good one, Joe. And there's a really cool scene here where you get Jason walking up to talk to Bruce,
Yeah,
and you see Etrigan
Jason Blood.
in the mirror. So,
That was cool.
sign me up for that. I can't wait to see that, and that's in March. So,
Coming
uh,
up pretty quick.
and Legion of Superheroes is sometime in February.
Is it?
Yeah.
I already have it pre-ordered on Amazon, so it's coming right to my door. So I don't remember. I need to pre-order this one too.
So, listeners, we'll take our final ad break of the evening. We're an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. World's Biggest Geek says, I'm so hyped for Shazam. That's one of the movies I cannot wait for, especially seeing Lucy and Helen play the main villains in this movie.
Yeah,
Same. Super excited for that. I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm really excited to see where they go from here.
you'll definitely have to come back when we cover it on the show, and
We will be covering on the show
couple months.
at World's Biggest Geek, and hopefully I don't have to miss that one. Fingers
Yeah, 'cause I
crossed.
don't want to take the lead on that. If I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
Fingers crossed. I have a
Go.
good feeling, Joe. I have a good feeling. Things usually work out. Cross.
Not gonna wood there.
I got a lot of wood on this desk. Okay, so we have let's do your Superman and Lois catch up before we talk about the Smallville retro recap. Before we
Can do. Hey, so I'm covering episodes 7, 8, and 9. Man of Steel, Holding the Wrench, and Loyal Subjects with a K. There's not a lot of drinking. Fun. Okay. At least they're finally pulling back on that. This is our introduction to them actually saying that Captain Luthor is John Henry Irons from A New World, which I thought that was really cool. That was a cool backstory to have. Then we also get the backstory of how Lois and Clark she was pregnant again with a daughter that they lost, which is definitely sad.
Speaking from personal experience, it's rather devastating. So it's nice to see it sometimes in show because you mostly always get the everything works out, rainbows, butterflies, and thumbs up. So it's nice to see these characters go through some relatable struggles.
Correct. And then let's see, we got that. We got Jordan. No, not Jordan. Jonathan, who is basically sad because he doesn't have powers, so he feels left out, and then he almost gets himself killed. That was interesting. And then seeing all of figuring out that Edge is putting Kryptonian consciousness into people. And that's how the Kryptonians are coming back to this planet. I definitely called it when Kyle showed up to the Kent farm, and because Lois and Jonathan were being attacked by 2 other members, and then Kyle just happens to run into the barn with them, and it's like, oh man, I'm sorry, what's going on? And then Jonathan uses the gun and blasts the 2 away. All right, guys, you really did it, or did you? And his eyes started, but like I knew as soon as he showed up, he
never shows up for anything, stupid Kyle.
Right? Ouch. But what really surprised
little hint on where I stand with Kyle.
But the thing that surprised me was Morgan Edge being a Kryptonian, allegedly. He's in a suit, he's got a symbol, he's flying, like, oh shit. Okay. Like, I'm loving this show, man. Like I don't know why I didn't watch it before.
Because it was CW, Joe. You definitely know.
Probably why.
Definitely extra hindrance there, but I'm glad. I'm so glad you're finding out some things. I'm so glad to know that there's other things that you're still yet to discover.
I'm liking this 3 episodes at a time, and I'm just sticking to the 3. Like I haven't watched episode 10 yet. I'll be watching that this week, 10, 11, 12, sometime this week. And then finishing up next week. I'm enjoying the show. I really am. I'm looking forward to getting through all of it so that we can talk about season 3 when it starts up in March.
I'm so excited for season 3 too. I'm really excited. There's so many things for season 1 and season 2. And I will say,
Oh yeah, Jordan, he's got his hearing now in this one.
yeah,
He got his freeze. Well, no, he got a flu, which basically got his freeze breath of sorts.
same kind
Um,
of thing in Smallville. Actually, I think for his freeze breath, I think he got a flu in season 6.
is
I
that
think it was the
how it
episode
was?
called
Okay.
Sneeze or Flu or something.
And then what happened in? Did he get any powers in the last episode?
I,
I
it's
don't
been a
think he did.
little while for me, but
Oh, yeah, you're
yeah,
fine. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
the,
like I'm liking how it's going.
I'm really excited for you to learn more about John Henry.
I look that that is a character I've loved since his interpretation from Death of Superman. I have followed him and read not all, but majority of stuff he's been in. John Henry Irons, great character to me. The fact that they brought him into the show and they they're doing him some fair justice. I think I'm not saying that Steel
He's a standout after 2 seasons. He's a standout character to me,
good.
Joe. That's all I will say.
Like I'm not gonna say that the Shaq Steel movie was bad. I loved it when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it since I was younger.
I can't
Um,
remember it either. Oh my god, we're
we're
gonna have to
gonna
watch
watch it
that.
soon. Soon. Well, actually, I'm watching it sooner than you. It's actually coming up. I think it's the next DC film over on Comic Rundown.
We have a couple. We have a couple
So,
Batman buffers.
um, so I'll be watching that soon. And like I said, I'm
Oh,
not
one
saying they
other
didn't do
thing,
that
Joe.
justice, but they're doing him really well in my thought in this movie or in the TV show.
This is completely unrelated, but I'm watching That's 90s show with Allison,
Yeah.
just trying to get a new show. The 5th episode, they're literally like, "I got tickets to Batman Forever. Do you wanna come?" I'm like, "Oh my god, Batman Forever. Don't
Oh,
go. Don't go." No, just kidding.
like
I
they did
didn't
that
mind
purposely.
Batman
It's
Forever.
weird.
I didn't mind Batman Forever that much. But yeah, Joe, it's a great show. I love how they focus on the families and not just the Superman action and Superman, but the families are key integral characters and they're interesting. Like the brothers,
I'm
they're
really
not.
happy that they've gone away from Jordan and Jonathan being whiny little bitches to the parents.
Yeah,
Although there was the hearing episode where Jordan was listening in and he heard Jonathan talking to Sarah, and he's like, "What are you talking to Sarah for? Moving on my girlfriend. What's going on?" Like, dude, shut up. What are you doing? Stop.
World's
You
Biggest
got
Geek asks, "How did you like the introduction in season 1 when they referenced the famous Action One comic in the
right at
episode?"
the beginning. That was amazing. Like that
Ah,
was really really cool, and having him have the suit, the original suit as well. Man, he
it
looks
was
so good.
It honestly, to me, is the best. It takes elements of all what makes Superman great in Smallville, Man of Steel, Clark and Lois, the Adventures of Clark and Lois. Like it literally takes, and Christopher Reeve's universe as well. It literally takes from all the best parts, and it seems like it's a mish of them for me. Anyway, that's how I feel about the show. I'm really excited for
Great.
Joe to catch
It's a
up.
really good show. Yeah, this is the first time watching it, so
I,
I'm
I, I
happy.
genuinely enjoy Joe hearing your thoughts. Like I'm excited. I'm
Well,
like,
and
what you gotta think?
I've called out when they've done bad, like the first 6 episodes where they're drinking constantly, and
Yeah.
Jonathan becomes like he gets drunk and oh, don't do it again. This is your warning. A
I
14
wish
year old,
I wish I lived in
14
that
year
world.
old.
I was 17 and literally nobody else's parents, only my father. Like I got to 12 o'clock, I wasn't home. He'd be driving around the community looking for me, and we're up partying. Like I didn't
Yeah,
start drinking until I was in grade 12, and barely any of that. I'm there drinking. And someone's like, "Who's that vehicle?" And you look going around slow as anything. Yeah, so I had to run back home to not get caught. I'm not like,
like I
"Don't you dare do it." Like, I had to, like, lie, pretend that never happened, like, like, there's a lot more
first
work to it.
first drinking party I went to, I was 17. Yeah, because I was dating my ex wife at the time. So like, yeah, I get it. Like I didn't go out before,
No.
especially a 14-year-old. Like what?
Crazy, crazy. So, yeah, there are some things that, I don't know if that gets that much better, but there are some things
Well,
about that.
these last 3 episodes, they didn't have any issues parenting wise for me. So
Actually, they do a pretty solid job of that. And finally, Joe, our final thing to talk about tonight, our
Smallville
Smallville retro
Retro.
recaps, season 2, episode 2, Heat. And I just gotta say, the moment that the teacher walked into the classroom, I immediately remember watching this
Yep,
episode back when I was young. Not
I
100%, no
remember this
lie. I
episode.
was 13, I think, or 14 when I watched this, and yeah, there's some really, I can't believe they put that in there. Like the first two times Clark's heat vision activates. I mean,
I mean, the first time it goes off, he's in class. He's looking at the teacher who is in this like this hot looking dress. Also, it's the air conditioning's busted and everybody's super hot, whatever. And it's like, okay, Ryan even calls it out in Talkville. He's like, yeah, I mean, that was allusion to jacking off. Like it was just literally just spurts coming out. Like,
yeah, like it was
yeah, that's what it
disturbing.
was. You're
I
not
was just
wrong.
like, what am I watching here? Like, how is this allowed? How is this PG-13 or not even PG-13? How
Well,
is this
but
on
like,
network television?
here's something I didn't know about. Michael brings it up in Talkville. There was a sex scene that got cut with him and the teacher because they were married at the time. That was apparently too hot for television, allegedly.
Depending on who you ask, Michael Rosenbaum was so bad at it that they couldn't
That's
do it.
insane, that though.
Well,
Because then
he said I had another sex scene like in a couple seasons
later
down the
on,
line
and that got cut too.
with Lana, and that got cut too. So I wish I could cut the whole Lex and Lana relationship.
Yeah, that one was
I'm a little confusing about that. I still think that there's like
weird.
she did it for to save Clark. I can't remember now. It's been so long. Uh,
I don't. Yeah, no, I got nothing. Like the
is it,
first, I watched the first season a lot, second season a lot, third season ish, fourth season a lot because Erica Durant showed up and oh, love
in
Erica
fifth
Durant.
season too? I remember Aquaman was in it. Like it was a like
Yeah, but like after season 4, it was like okay, I'll just watch them one time. I might watch them eventually, but I stopped watching them like you were watching Arrow.
yeah.
Back.
But like I enjoyed this more than clearly everybody on Talkville did. Maybe
Yeah,
because I had a little bit of nostalgia for the episode, like I could actually remember as this is just a run of the mill filler episode for
I
them.
mean, Michael hated it. Ryan wasn't too impressed. Tom liked it. Tom said that
Not
because of the heat
the
vision in it,
powers, yes.
and that's what one thing Ryan was trying to say is like, it's an important episode for him getting his powers and him understanding it.
It's just wish they would have did it in a different way than
Well, if you
basically
even think
giving
about it, I
him the
think
hots for
Michael even brings it up. It's like this this person, Desiree,
yeah.
uh, her power is to basically manipulate people with like this pheromone.
Yeah, that she gives when she kisses.
No, it doesn't even have to kiss. It just comes out of her because she did it with John Kent,
John can't,
and
yeah,
she
you're
never
right.
kissed him. But she releases this pheromone, and then she has this person do her bidding. And then Michael brings up about how she didn't die at the end,
No.
so she gets arrested, gives off the pheromone, and then she's in the wind. Like she never comes back, right?
No. Well, he
So
said that I think at last honestly, you know what would have been awesome, Joe, is to see if you would have gotten a scene because I know in season 5 or season 6, Lex starts experimenting on metahumans and has this whole like level 33.1 or
yes,
30
I do remember that
to see her locked up in
in
that
there. Yeah,
in there would have been such a cool little Easter egg. I don't think we ever see her again. I
but
did love how
even
Rosenbaum called her on Talkville
that
when
was
he
fun.
called her
He
back. That
called her
was like
once and it wasn't the right number. He's like, oh, that's not right. Okay. Although apparently it was right, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, and she was like, that's just how I was casted. Like I was cast for that role all the time. So I don't know if she's in anything like super popular because she
Well,
doesn't seem
I could
familiar.
check, but I don't want to. No, similar. So what they should have done, especially after like half of season 1 and all these kids have all these meta powers, um, have a special meta. prison, similar to what Flash does, although Flash is holding them illegally, if you think about it. But no, like they should have been in a prison and not just a regular prison. Because I believe it's this season we've got the old, like a bunch of old antagonists from season 1 that break out and team up to go up against Clark. I think it's
Yeah,
that's the season,
it's
right?
this season. There's some of the kids
So,
that he's encountered.
like, if they were in their own separate meta prison, great.
I would be 100% all about this if this actually happened.
I would too. I don't know if he wants to though.
He did tweet out at James Gunn that he was available and would like to be
Really?
Luthor again.
Okay.
Yes, in a tweet like a month and a half ago.
I just know
Uh,
he wasn't too happy with the bald shaving everything bald and the bald.
I think the post Smallville career, or kind of maybe a little bit of lack thereof career, and basically the thing that he's remembered most for at the moment is his Smallville
I mean,
like
I remember him
watch
in
podcast.
Urban Legend
Urban Legends. He
and
was also in
Sorority Boys.
Pool Hall Junkies, and he did have a show, Preacher, I think, that lasted a couple of seasons. That would have kept going, but I think he got anxiety filming the show and had to
Oh,
stop.
really?
Yeah, so. But I
Oh,
would
I'm
love to
glad he's
see
looking
him.
at taking care of that.
He, World's Biggest Geek asked, "Do you think Michael should come back as Lex Luthor when James Gunn
But,
reboots the DC universe?"
but here's the
I,
thing: like, if he's not playing off of Tom Welling's Superman, I don't know if I want it.
I think he can still be good. I can still remember an episode where he captures the kid who played Flash, and he had excellent banter back and forth with that character,
Okay.
while also being intimidating and threatening. I really think he could be a fantastic Lex Luthor if given the opportunity. I don't think he needs to act, but now I have never seen him out of the context of Smallville, so like that could be its own thing. So it's always da- uh, dangerous to do something like that. But I think we both would be
I'd be
definitely
for it.
interested.
I would
Yeah.
definitely be for it.
Yes. So ultimately, Desiree gets Lex to marry him in a week by the pheromones, and then she tries to put the moves on Clark, theoretically, to go kill Lex, and it doesn't work because Clark is Superman. And then she tries to get Jonathan Kent to do it. And I love when she's like, Lex fondly is like, "We need to talk," and she's like, "Yeah, I get to inherit it all when you die." And he's like, "Feels like sounds like you're gonna kill me. Are you gonna kill me?" And she opened up the door. "No, I'm not, but he is." And
Yeah.
Jonathan Kent burst in. True, really enjoyed that part. And the heat vision of the bullet. Obviously, I thought that was a really cool scene. What was annoying and weird to me was the Chloe like constantly coming up and saying like, "Yeah, I'm so over it," and "Yeah, it's a good thing that we were friends now," and I was like, way too much. It got a little annoying for me at a certain point. Like,
Well,
do we
look,
need this teen drama? Do we need this? Like, do we?
she is reverse psychologying him
Clark.
to join a cult, a sex cult, if you will. And
I
yep. No,
think you watched the wrong document.
oh, my bad. Or the right one. No, you're not wrong, because then she goes up to Lana and it's like, yeah, I had feeling, I still got feelings for Clark. I told him this, even though I was a lie, and like they basically say, well, we should stay friends, even though we shouldn't let some guy we're dating come between us, or some guy we're not dating, whatever. Which in turn, by the end of it, well,
I don't think that's out yet. World's Biggest Geek. I think it's coming out in February. It could maybe it leaked. DC has a problem with their animated movies leaking a few weeks before.
this is my shocked face. It looks
Yeah,
just like my normal face.
they have a.
Um,
I'm sorry, I missed that one as well.
yeah, like, but then by the end, because the whole entire point of this movie or this episode is Lana is making video files, like a video thing to send to Whitney, because he's currently in basic training, I believe.
Or I think he finished basic training and is being deployed.
Okay, one of the
Yeah.
two. I know what happens. I do remember that. But and I think that's actually coming up either next episode or the episode after.
And then there's a couple episodes involving that in
Yeah.
this season.
Because by the end of it, she is having a tough time with her feelings with Clark. So I think she's about ready to tell Whitney,
Well, that's
being
basically
attacked.
how they end the episode is her saying like, "Yeah, Whitney, well, I'll always love you. Yeah,
Dot dot dot.
sorry." Yeah, so we know what's happening to Whitney, and I wonder what
I
Clark's
don't
gonna
think
do when
I
that
don't
happens.
remember if that actually gets sent to him or if he actually sees it. Because
I think he does see it.
I don't think he does. Because if I remember him like writing a letter and her getting the letter, I think the day she was about ready to send the file
Maybe.
about how like he really loves her and all this, and then like the next day she gets the notification that he gets killed in action.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right about that, Joe. It's been a little while, so
because
I'll
then
be interested to see.
she felt terrible about it, and then that like pushed Clark away. Like she
Mhm.
pushed Clark away even more.
That makes sense
Um,
because everything's lining right up with them, like, getting together, and we know that doesn't happen for a
not
lot
like
longer.
3 more seasons.
No, she's not completely oblivious, I will say that, like,
No,
she mentions that, like, "You've been around 3 fires," like, "You started 3 fires," or not
which
you started, "You've been around 3 fires that really convenient," and Clark's like, "What a coincidence," and she's like, "Or
coincidence, huh?
maybe just more the mystery of Clark Kent," and I'm like, "Look at you, at least you're not, like, blindly accepting things by fact."
But
I
here's the thing though, like for the last year,
Mhm.
weird things have been happening, and when they figure out what's going on, it's because some person has gotten abilities because of the meteor rocks.
She literally gets
Clark,
abilities because of meteorites. Like, she's
exactly.
able to see through people's eyes at one point last season.
So Clark is there's fire spontaneously happening around him 3 different times. Huh. I wonder if nope, nothing's happening
I
with
I
Clark.
guess a week of no fires, will do a lot to quell the the rages, I guess.
Shouldn't I mean I know he got arrested because Desiree set her car on fire and basically blamed Clark for it. But the dude sets a fire in the police station and then leaves. How did you not get arrested again? And I know Lex wasn't going to press charges, but it's like, no, you were still arrested. You still have to get processed.
Stern warning, Joe. Let you off with a stern
Oh yeah, that happens in the Superman universe.
that
Like
happens
it
in
just
any
accepts it.
universe. Come on, unless there's money involved. Uh, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode.
It was
I
fine.
thought it was,
It was fine.
like I thought it was let me rephrase that. I really enjoyed it compared to what I thought I was gonna like it going in after listening to Talkville first, because Talkville made me
Okay,
think this
yeah.
was gonna be a
And
dumpster fire.
I watched it first and then did uh Talkville.
I watched Talkville first and then watched the episode this week, and yeah, I made the episode better for me because I thought it was gonna be really bad, and I ended up,
That's
I don't
fair.
know,
Okay.
finding a sense of nostalgia in the episode. I could remember when I watched it, like, basically date and time and where I was on the couch and the old couch, so, yeah, kinda had some nostalgia berries going for Safe Harbor. Joe, I think that pretty much sums up everything tonight.
Yeah, I think we got it.
That was a good episode. I'm really excited to see where they're going to go in Smallville for this season, and for you and your next 3 episodes of Superman and
Yeah.
Lois. I'm going to shut up now. I don't want to spoil anything. Listeners, thank you so much. World's biggest geek, all in the game. The View with Drew, and Derpy. Thank you so much for being in the chat. Listeners, we'll be back next week with more DC. Hopefully, we'll get some movie announcements, Joe.
Fingers
Uh,
crossed.
fingers crossed. Later, everyone.
Bye.